Thank you. First off, good afternoon. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Salam, Shalom. In the spirit of oneness that we kind of observed here, I just want to put that out there. I know today is Easter, and if you celebrate it, happy Easter. If you don't, I think we can all just be here in the spirit of resurrection and rebirth. And I thank you for the invitation to be able to talk and share our feelings. Um, as the performer was going through different parts of the narratives, the experiences, I should say, I saw a lot of myself in a lot of that. And I hope that once we leave, we can kind of always see ourselves in part of that, because I think sometimes the biggest problem is that we don't see that, is that there's somehow, some way, we have the ability to disconnect. And for the past 5 years, 5.5 years, since the Sikh temple shooting, I've been encouraging people to come back and connect. I also saw myself in the performance because of my journey in this country. When I came over, I was about 6 years old. We moved to Milwaukee, and we moved around Milwaukee quite a bit. This is in the 80s. Kind of trying to find that safe spot to live. And so we moved from the north side to the west side to West Dallas to South Milwaukee to the suburbs. Eventually realizing that if we don't start to invest in everywhere as a safe place to live, no place is safe to live. So the other part was when I saw the performer go over the police response and the police narrative. I was also a Milwaukee police officer for 5 years on 37th and Fond du Lac. My squad area was Squad 70. So Squad 70 was from 16th to 27th, from Center to Keefe, you can think. And my area plus the squad shift that I had was the busiest area and squad shift in Milwaukee. And within about 4 or 5 years, I got sick of policing that, and turned my attention to teaching. So I became a teacher in the same neighborhood that I was once policing. I taught at-risk high school youth, a place called Nova. And as the narrative was being told, I remembered myself and when I used to police, and I even recalled myself getting dressed in uniform. And it was always, put your pants on first, get the boots on, put your white shirt on, and police officers would recall this, but then get the bulletproof on. And once you get the bulletproof on, you put your badge on, you put all that rest on, then you put your bat belt on. And I say that to say that within that whole ritual, that whole routine, there was the ability to disconnect. And kind of say, okay, you know what, when I go police, this is my 8 hours or 9 hours when I'm going to be going through this. So I really got to put all this armor on. And then once I come back home, I can take it all off. Thing is, you can't take it all off, because it's imprinted in you. What you saw, you can't take off. I had the ability for my conscious mind to kind of override all that fear. And what I noticed in a lot of these situations is fear meeting somebody else's fear typically creates hatred. And it's that hatred that we're fighting so hard against. So the Sikh temple shooting, when that happened, I was an educator. I was 35 years old. There was nothing really uniquely special about me, except that I was in the right place mentally and spiritually to be able to react. And I felt it as my duty to react. And so when that happened, we did, and we didn't want a lot of the sympathy that comes after that. We wanted to not be treated as victims. We wanted to just be respected. We We want it to have a sense of worth. And our mission for the past 6 years has been to try to let the community know what we're worth. And I think that's not something that we're alone with. This is something that I think communities are struggling with all the time. What is it that we're worth? And so in closing, I just loved everything being put out there and saying, okay, you know what? This is the perspective. This is the perspective. This is the perspective. And how do we reconnect? How do we reconnect? And I thank you for allowing me to talk to you today. God bless you on your journey.